Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future home buyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923, AnyMac Home Mortgage, an equal housing lender, American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage, LoFi Direct, Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number ML 338923, Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number MC 338923, Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
It's 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with R&J. I am Steve Risser, along here with Justin D'Onofrio. And last night, the Lakers knocked off the Timberwolves. They beat them in overtime to advance to the to the first round of the playoffs to face the Memphis Grizzlies. It was a great game last night. The game went to overtime. LeBron went for 30 and 10. AD went for 24 and 15. Anthony Towns also had a big night. Anthony Edwards wasn't that good. He struggled. But the Lakers came with a big win. But I do think the big reason why the T-Wolves stayed in this game is because of their three-point shooting. Their three-point shooting was phenomenal. They were able to shoot the three ball really, really well. So and they hit, I think, 6. They struggled at the end, but they hit 16 threes. But in the end, the Lakers end up pulling it out and advanced to the first round to play the Memphis Grizzlies. But there is some concern for the Lakers. I mean, I think that they did not shoot the ball well from three-point range, only 32%. I think that they didn't have their bench was good, but not great outside of Dennis Schroeder. So there is some concern for the Lakers, but they do advance.
Yeah, they found a way to advance. It was not pretty the first half. They dug themselves into 11-point deficit at the half. Their supporting cast didn't really do a ton outside of AD and LeBron last night. D'Angelo Russell only had 2 points. Austin Reeves had 12, but he was only 4 for 13 from the field. So, yeah, for the Lakers, and you matched Dennis Schroeder had a really stepped up, had a really good game. But, yeah, they really struggled from beyond the arc. And it took a lot of effort from AD and LeBron to find a way to win that game. And those two exerted a lot of effort last night. So yeah, Lakers found a way, but yeah, the Timberwolves there looked good in the first half, but yeah, in the second half they just struggled to knock down shots. The Lakers found a way to kind of come back, found a way to win that game, and yeah, the Lakers go on and move on to play the Grizzlies starting on Sunday.
Yeah, they win last night, 108-82, and we talk now. They move on. They face the Grizzlies on Sunday, and I think the big question in this series, for the Lakers, is can AD, LeBron carry them to an upset win? Can AD and LeBron carry them to an upset win? I think these two teams, seeing what the Lakers have done at the trade deadline, I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I think the two teams are pretty evenly matched between each other. I think they're evenly matched, and I would not be surprised if the Lakers pull the upset. But I do think the reason why I do think Memphis is going to win the series, there's two reasons. Number one, they have the second best player in the series and arguably the best player in the series in Ja Morant. Ja Morant is a better player than Anthony Davis, and there's no way there's no argument for that. I mean, he distributes the ball better, and he's a better 3-point shooter. He's a better player than Anthony Davis. Now, I'll still give LeBron the edge over Ja, but I think it's still close. But I think it's close. But so I think this is going to be a close, competitive series between these two teams. I think the Lakers have the better bench. They might even have more talent. They might even have the more talented team. But I think the biggest reason the Grizzlies win is they have the home court and they have the rest. They're going to be the rested team in the series. I think both teams are close, but I'm going to take the Grizzlies in 7. But Justin, can AD and LeBron pull the upset help the Lakers pull the upset in this series?
I get the Grizz in 6 in this one, but I think LeBron and AD could. They got the best record since the All-Star break. Their 3-point shooting has improved from adding Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell. They've gotten a little bit better shooting wise, but look, their supporting cast around AD and LeBron can't do it all. They need other guys to kind of step up around them. The Lakers will have kind of a little bit of advantage inside. Now that Steven Adams is going to be out, Steven Adams will be out. It's going to be Xavier Tillman Price starting at the 5 spot. So Tillman's gonna have to play well in the series against, he's probably not going to go up against AD. That's probably gonna be Jackson's assignment. But I think, the Grizz with Ja Morant and that team, I think there's a little bit more. They have a little bit more talent around them that I trust more than Lakers. And I think that's why they find a way to win the series in 6. But yeah, I could very easily see LeBron and AD find a way to upset the Grizzlies.
Oh, absolutely. And this team could make a run. I mean, this team can definitely break a run with LeBron and AD, but they got to be a little bit better than they were last night. I think they got to be a little bit better offensively. I mean, they really scored 98 points offensively, so they got to get more out of guys like they got to get more to Austin Reeves. They got to get more to D'Angelo Russell. They got to get more to guys like that, and even Jared Vanderbilt. And also, they got to get a little bit more off their bench, like I said earlier, other than Dennis Schroeder. Because the big reason why they won the game was because of the T-Wolves not having one of their starters. They didn't have Jaden McDaniels, and I know they didn't have Rudy Gobert as well. Even though you could argue the reason the T-Wolves had a chance last night is they didn't have Rudy Gobert. But yeah, the Lakers, they need to get more out of their starting lineup. They need to get more to guys like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell if they're going to win this series.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They're going to have to, because the Grizzlies have a ton of firepower. And the Timberwolves kind of played that game the style that they wanted to. They kind of want to make everything ugly. That's what they did last night. The Lakers found a way to kind of beat them at their own game. But yeah, this Grizzly team's going to get up and down. They have a ton of firepower with Morant, with Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks. They got really good, capable scorers. And yeah, if LeBron or AD, are the only two that are kind of finding ways to score, and the only ones that are getting more than 20 points, I think they're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, they need Schroeder to step up. They need Russell to score 15, 20 tonight. They're going to need Austin Reeves to do the same type of stuff. So yeah, absolutely. If the Lakers, if that supporting cast cannot figure out a way to help out AD and LeBron, they're going to have trouble keeping up with the Grizzlies offense.
Absolutely. Because let's face it, LeBron, he's still a top 10 player, but he's not as great as he used to be. He's just not as great as he used to be. He's not as great of a 3-point shooter. And AD is he's a great player, dominant player, but he's not as good as some of the you could argue he's not a top 10 player in the league. He's not a top 10 player. Ja Morant's clearly a better player. AD's not great at making his teammates better around him. He's like, he averages 2 assists a game, and he doesn't shoot 3-point shots. So I think that yes, they definitely need that supporting cast to be better than it was last night if they want to beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it absolutely does. As you mentioned, Davis kind of struggles, and again, Jarrett Jackson's one of the better defenders in the league. It's not going to be, easy for Anthony Davis to really, Anthony Davis will get his points, of course, but Jared Jackson's going to make it difficult on him. And yeah, LeBron's getting up there in age. Like those two can't do it alone for a 7-game series. They're going to need some help from some other guys. So yeah, absolutely. They don't get that firepower from Jackson or Brooks. For the Grizzlies, if the Grizzlies get home, because you expect Grizzlies, Bane and Brooks to score. Yeah, if the Lakers cannot find other guys to step up and score for them, yeah, they're going to be in a lot of trouble because they just don't. You can't expect LeBron and AD to do it every night at that age. And again, can we really, can you trust Anthony Davis to always stay? Anthony Davis always had the injury concerns too. There's maybe a possibility too he gets in. Unfortunately, maybe he gets injured too in the series, and you're down another guy. So yeah, I think for the Lakers, they need other guys to step around them. They've been good since the All-Star break, but now when the lights turn on, and are much brighter, how do they perform?
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. It all starts on Sunday for the Lakers in Memphis. But we got to move on to what happened last night in the Eastern Conference, and the Hawks beat the Heat 116-105 to advance to the first round of the playoffs to go to Boston to face the Celtics. And this is going to be a very tough series for the Hawks. I think Trae Young is really, really good. I think DeJounte Murray is good, but this is a really good Boston team with Jason Tatum, who averaged more points than any other Celtic. You got Jaylen Brown, you got Marcus Smart, you got Al Horford. This is a really good Celtic team that got to the finals last year. I think it's going to be hard because I do think Marcus Smart is going to contain Trae Young in this series. So I think it's going to be really, really hard for the Hawks to score in this series. And I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Celtics. I think the Celtics win the series. And I think the Celtics win the series pretty easily. I got the Celtics winning this series in 5. But Justin, can Trae Young carry the Hawks to a huge upset over the defending Eastern Conference champs?
I don't think that's going to happen as well. I got the Celtics in 5 as well. Yeah, I think Marcus Smart is going to be able to kind of slow down Trae Young enough. And then even off the bench, like Malcolm Brogdon's a really good defender, and even Derek White, if they got to throw, him on Trae Young when Smart's out, they have 3 guys that can guard Trae Young and are going to give him fits. The Hawks last night arguably played probably their best game of the year. The Heat didn't really show up. That was one of the worst performances. Heat really didn't play well at all last night. But I think it's a bad matchup for the Hawks just because their defense is not really good, and I think Boston's gonna be able to kind of score whatever they want. But look, if Atlanta can do what they did last night, they grabbed 22 offensive rebounds, and Clint Capella can kind of just dominate on the glass. Yeah, maybe the Hawks have a chance in the series, but I just think Boston's defense is gonna do enough. But again, I think it's like if the Hawks can get their supporting cast, like Murray, Sadiq Bey, who played really well last night, Bogdanovich, if those guys can kind of step up and knock down shots, when Young's maybe having a little bit trouble finding ways to score against Marcus Smart and some of the Celtics guards, maybe they have a shot. But I think it's gonna be very tough for the Hawks to really to keep this kind of battle. I just think the Celtics just have a little bit too much talent for them.
And you made a really good point about the bench, about Bey and Bogdanovich. You made an excellent point about the bench. The bench last night for the Hawks had to score 59 points. If their bench is really good and continues to be good and takes some pressure off of Trae Young, yes, they can make this a series. But if the supporting cast and the bench can't do that, there's no way this will be a series and the Celtics will win it easily.
Yeah. And the Hawks bench, they're second this year in field goal percentage. They're shooting like 48% off the bench. Like their bench guys have been really good for them. They have the supporting cast that, they can kind of knock down and give the Celtics trouble. But yeah, I just think the Celtics defense would be a little bit too much for them. And yeah, Trae Young's a phenomenal player, but they don't have, Jason Tatum, is a better player than Trae Young. And, Jaylen Brown is the second best player on that floor. And I think those two, if he comes back this, for the series, I just think the Hawks it's a little bit too much of a battle for the Hawks over to defeat the Celtics.
Absolutely. So we got to get to probably one of the most interesting series in the first round, and that's the Knicks heading to Cleveland to face the Cavs. I mean, they're heading to Cleveland for Game 1 to face the Cavs, but they open up a 7-game series against the Cavs, and this is a series for the Knicks. There is a ton of pressure on the Knicks. You can't lose this series if you're the Knicks because of what happened in the offseason, because of what happened with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, they pretty much all they had to do was give up Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett for Donovan Mitchell. And Quentin Grimes was the guy the Knicks wanted to keep. And that's what that, and imagine if the Knicks had Randall, Mitchell, and Brunson. They'd be a top 3 team in the East. That's why if the Knicks lose this series, Scott Perry and Leon Rose are going to hear it. They're definitely going to hear it. And I think this is going to be a great series. I think this is going to be a really, really close competitive series. I mean, I think the Knicks are a little bit. I think that they're a little bit. I'd take their top 3 guys over the Cavs' top 3 guys with Brunson, Randall. If Randall's healthy, with Brunson, Randall, and Mitch, with Brunson, Randall, and Barrett over Garland, Mitchell, and Allen. So I would take those top 3 for the Knicks over the top 3 for the Cavs. But here's the 2 issues. Number 1, Randall might not be healthy, and there's a very good chance he might be banged up to start the series. So the Knicks could get in an early hole. They could lose the first two in Cleveland. They could get into an early hole. So that's the first thing. The second one is we all know obviously who the best player in the series is, and that's Donovan Mitchell. And that's why I think the Cavs win this. I think they win it in 7. I think this is a series that all the home teams win. I can't see the Cavs win it in the Knicks building, and I don't think the Knicks win a game in Cleveland's building. This is a close, competitive series. But I do think the Cavs win it by a little. I think the Cavs win it in 7. I'm going Cleveland in 7, and it's going to be a long offseason for Leon Rose and Scott Perry because this is the guy they should have in New York. So I'm going with the Cavs in 7.
Yeah.
But, Justin, can Brunson and Randall carry the Knicks to their second playoff series win in 23 years?
I'm with you. We got Cavs in 7 as well. The question mark right now with Julius Randle, if he's going to play or not. And even, when we've seen Randall in the playoffs, he's been very up and down. What Randall you get, in the playoffs too. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell is the big storyline in the series. The Knicks, because Knicks, then as you mentioned, they didn't want to give up Quentin Grimes, which he's had a phenomenal year. But yeah, you could have Brunson, him, Julius Randle. That's a great core right there of 3 guys. And then, you still maybe trade for Josh Hart, who's been great as well since the trade deadline. But I think, Mitch, because I think too, like if Randall's on the floor, you're going to have to put Donovan Mitchell on RJ Barrett or Quentin Grimes. You can't really hide them. And I think when Randall's out there, they're going to have to put, and if Randall's not out there, I think, the Cavs are going to be able to get away with putting Mitchell on Obi Toppin. So I think that matchup too could be interesting where Mitchell's not a great defender. They could hide him on Obi Toppin, but if Randall's out there, they're going to have to put him on RJ Quentin Grimes. And I just think, the Cavs just have I think Mitchell's the best. I'm with you. I think he's the best player on the floor. I think I think, the Knicks have a little bit of trouble slowing him down. And I think with the Knicks too, I just think, some of their shot, I don't like the Knicks, they love to take like these mid-range jumpers that are just not very effective. Those pull-up jumpers, so they like that isolation kind of offense. And I don't know if that's totally, I don't know if that totally works in the playoffs. I think they may struggle with that type of offense. So I think, the Cavs find a way to win this thing in 7. And I'm with you. I think the road team has a hard time winning a game in the series. Yeah,
and I think the biggest thing for the Knicks is they got it. If they could shoot the ball better from 3 in the Cavs, I think they have a chance. That's gonna be the big key for the Knicks in this series: be able to shoot the ball from 3 well. They kind of have to stop with taking those mid-range shots and take more threes. And if they could hit more threes, I think they could win the series.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can knock down the 3 ball, with their defense, I think they got a shot to knock off the Cavs. They got the talent. They have the shooters. Josh Hart's been a great addition. They've been playing pretty well since. I don't know their record since, but they've played really well since since they've landed Josh Hart. So if they can knock down threes, they got a chance. That's kind of the problem at times is some nights they go cold. They're really they're still a solid defensive team, but in the playoffs you got to be able to knock down some shots late. And if the Knicks can't do that, Mitchell's I think it's gonna be a tough matchup for him. And I think he'll find a way to kind of edge his team to the win.
Absolutely. It should be a great series between the Knicks and the Cavs. Now we move on to probably the most lopsided series in the first round, and that's the Nets playing the 76ers. And the Nets are kind of a surprise, being the number 6 seed after trading Kevin Durant. But Michael Bridges has played really well. Cam Johnson has played well. Spencer Dinwiddie's played well. But here's the thing. If you're drafting a team, you're taking Harden and Embiid over any of these players on the Nets. And that's why I think the Sixers are going to cruise in this series. I think they're going to win this one easily. I think they're going to win it in 5. I think this is probably going to be the most lopsided series in the Eastern Conference and maybe in the entire playoffs. But Justin, can the new look Nets somehow pull off a huge upset?
Yeah, I don't think so. I got the Phillies. I think they sweep them. I just don't think right now the Nets have the talent right now. They got some good scores, but I just think the way the Sixers are playing with Embiid, I think they kind of struggle with him down low. And James Harden's played really well this year. He's had a really nice bounce back year. And Embiid and James Harden go to the line 18 times a game. I think they knock down their free throws. And I just think the Nets have some guys that maybe can make one of the games interesting. Yeah, maybe they find a way to win a game this series and at least one. But I just think this Sixers team has so much talent. And again, for Philly, it's been the last couple of years. It doesn't really matter about the regular season. It's all about the postseason, and where they finish in that. And I think for the Sixers, they got to really go out there, make a statement. And I think the Sixers cruise in this one. I just don't think the Nets have the star power that the Sixers have with Joel Embiid or James Harden.
Absolutely. It's a team that needs to win now against a team that's rebuilding. So it should be a very lopsided series. But we'll move on to a couple of tonight's games, and we'll talk about the Bulls and the Raptors, the 9-10 game. And I think this is going to be a close, competitive game, but I'm going to take the team that has a little bit more talent. I'm going to go with the Raptors here. I'm going to go with the Raptors to advance to Friday night to face the Heat. But Justin, can DeRozan and Levine keep the Bulls season alive?
I think to be difficult. I get the Raptors as well. Both teams are really good defensively. They're both the top 10, in the NBA points against. But Zach LaVine's been awesome, averaging like 28 points since the month of March. But they're gonna need a big day from him. DeMar DeRozan, this year against Toronto, he's only averaged 14 points a game. He's really struggled against his former team. And I think Toronto does a good job of slowing him down tonight. And I think Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam have a good game. I think Toronto home finds a way to knock off Chicago.
No, absolutely. And it is DeMar DeRozan coming back to his hometown in Toronto, come back to where he used to play in Toronto. We'll move on to the 9-10 game in the West between the Thunder and the Pelicans. And I think the Pelicans win this, and I think they win this by double digits. I think it was a little bit disappointing that the Pelicans couldn't win, though, on Sunday when the Timberwolves were pretty much fighting each other. When they ended up losing that game on Sunday to the T-Wolves. But I think the Pelicans win this by double digits. I think that Ingram has a good game. I think McCollum has a good game. I think that Valanciunas has a good game. And Thunder, they had a good, for what they were expected to be. They've had a good year. I think they're a team that's on the rise, especially with Chet Holmgren, putting Chet Holmgren and SGA together. I think that team's on the right. I like Josh Giddey too, but they're too young. I think I got the Pelicans winning it by double digits.
Yeah, I get the Pelicans too. I think it's, as you mentioned, OKC really surprised you. I think it's, they go out there and they're just happy to be there against a team like New Orleans that, should win this game. It should, and, should be in the playoffs. So, yeah, even with no Zion tonight, it kind of feels like that's starting to turn into a Ben Simmons situation where he just says he's not comfortable on the floor, where he's not yet. And I don't know, he's been out for a while now. But I just think CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram are just a little bit too much. They're really good at creating their own. And as long as the Pelicans stop, SAJ,
SGA.
SJA. I think, the
SGA.
The SGA.
SGA.
I don't know why I always mess up his name. As long as the Pelicans slow him down, I don't think the Thunder have it. I think the Thunder are going to have a really tough time winning this game, and I'm with you. I think the Pelicans should take care of business at home tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I think it'll be Pelicans and Timberwolves on Friday night. But we will go to the big matchup in the Western Conference. That's the Clippers and the Suns. I think that the Clippers are going to be in trouble in the series because they won't have Paul George. I mean, I do like Kawhi. Westbrook has played well, but I don't trust him in the playoffs. But Batum is not that good anymore. Zubac is an average center. And having Paul George out hurts their bench because now they got to start Eric Gordon. So I think it's going to be a tough series for the Clippers. The Suns are 8-0 when Kevin Durant has played this year. I think that continues. I think they continue to stay hot. They are my favorite to win the championship. That's why I got them winning this series in 5. But Justin, can Kawhi continue his postseason success and help the Clippers pull a major upset?
I'm with you. I think the Suns win this thing in 5. You mentioned their Suns are 8-0 and they've looked really good with KD out there. And it seems like Paul and Booker already have a really good chemistry on the floor. I just think, it's without Paul George, I think it's too much of an uphill battle for the Clippers. They don't have a ton. Yeah, you mentioned Westbrook. He's not a great shooter. I don't trust him as well. They're going to need like a Norman Powell or Bones Highland to really to get 20-25 a night to help out Kawhi Leonard. I just think the Suns have way too much firepower right now. Yeah, on paper, if Paul George is in the series, this looks like it could be a really, could be a promising kind of, maybe the Clippers could get this thing to like 6 games, but 6-7 games, but without him, I don't think so. I think the Suns just have way too much firepower, and I think they struggle. They'll find a way to win game 3 or 4 at home, but other than that, I don't really see them making much of a series.
With the way the Suns have played with Durant, should they be the favorites to win it all, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so. With Durant, with him, with how close they were a couple years ago, the Suns with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Durant, and then you still got DeAndre Ayton. Like, Ayton's one of the best centers still in the game. He averaged a double-double this year. They got 4 really good starters that could match up with anybody. So, I have the Suns as a favorite to win the finals right now.
Yes, I do as well. But we got a big matchup in Northern California. We got the Warriors facing the Kings, facing your Kings. And I think this series is gonna. The Kings will give. I think the Kings will win a couple games because the Warriors have been so bad on the road. But I can't see the Kings winning any games in Golden State. I'm going to take the more experienced team here. I know Mike Brown's done a great job. I know that De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis have had great years. But we know who they're playing. They're playing the Warriors, and I know they haven't had a great year. I know they've been terrible on the road, but I still think the Warriors with Steph, with Clay, with Jordan Poole, I still think they win. And with Andrew Wiggins back, I still think they win this series in 6. But Justin, can your Kings pull the upset? And this would be their first playoff win since 2006?
Yeah.
2005?
Yeah, I think they got the semis. Yeah, 2005.
Wow, this would be their first.
Yeah,
let's just say.
No, I think they got the finals, yeah.
Let's just say this would be their first playoff win since the Weber days. Can they do it?
Yeah. I don't think so either. I wish. But, I don't trust the defense. I just don't. Their defense is just not great. They look, for whatever reason, their defense efficiency on the road is 9th in the league for whatever reason, but they're second to last at home. I don't know why I don't know why that there's such a kind of difference. But look, the Kings can make this thing interesting, because of the combination of Sabonis coming in now with Fox and that pick and roll offense, and now they got Murray, they have Kevin Huerter, they got Harrison Barnes to kind of spread you out. Malik Monk should be right there for 6th man of the year. So I feel like the Kings could I think they're going to put up some points. The problem is I don't know if they could stop the Warriors enough. Fox is going to be on Curry. It's going to be, sounds like he wants this matchup, and, he's not afraid to go up against them. But yeah, again, Mike Brown's done a good job, but everybody talks about his defense. Defensive. I have not seen the defense get a lot better this year. I'm hoping now at the playoffs, maybe it does turn it a little bit better. But look, I'm worried too about Sabonis because, he can be a crybaby at times. Draymond Green could get in his head very easily.
Oh, I can see that happen. I can see that happening.
And that's kind of where I worry in this one. They've done it, Clay always burns us too. I think they, and Curry's going to get his 30 points. That's a given. They got to keep some of their supporting cast at check, keep them in check. Maybe they had a chance, but look, there's just way too much experience that this Warriors team has. I love to pick them. It's just, a team with this much experience. I see them having a hard time. I think the Warriors win 6. I think the Kings find a way to win a couple in the series, but they're just not going to stop the Warriors. They're just not.
Yeah, it's just, the Warriors, I know they haven't played well on the road at all this year, but they're still the Warriors. They still got Steph Curry. And the Kings have had a great year, but they just have no playoff experience. They have none of these guys. De'Aaron Fox. I mean, I don't know if the bonus might have been with the Pacers, like in the first round, but still, there just isn't any experience with the with the Kings. And I just think the Warriors. I think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to go to the finals, but I think they're going to get to the conference finals. But I just don't. I think they got too much experience against the Kings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think there's a little bit too much experience there. With Curry, Thompson, those guys because they played the Warriors played really well down the stretch when they wanted to avoid the play-in series. You kind of saw what they won 10 out of 11, or something. So they played really well towards the end there to try to get out of the play-in kind of round. They've done that. Just too much experience again. Hopefully Fox actually gets to show the national media that like he should actually get more hype, because it feels like the last couple of weeks, Austin Reeves with the Lakers has gotten more hype than like De'Aaron Fox around him, and Fox has been doing this all year. So look, he's got the most clutch points in the league this year. So maybe Fox could lead them to a series win. There's just too much firepower with the Warriors, and I just think it's a bad matchup for the Kings.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But before we wrap up the NBA, we got to talk about what the Mavs did on Friday night. And did the Mavs do the right thing on Friday night, sitting out a bunch of their guys when they still had a spot in the play-in tournament on the line? I think they absolutely did not do the right thing. I think it should be embarrassed as an organization what they do. They talk about never quitting when you're in it, never quitting if you still have a chance. And the Mavs flat out quit when they still had a chance. And it looked like it was not Jason Kidd's decision at all. It looked like it was Nico Harrison's decision. It looked like it was Mark Cuban's decision. So that was a disgraceful thing the Mavs did, and they should have their pick taken away. The NBA should investigate this, and they should have their pick taken away because they absolutely tanked on Friday night.
Yeah, and this is what's wrong with the NBA nowadays. This is one of the issues is tanking. Look, I know they have a 0.001% chance to get Victor Wembanyama, but they still get one ball now in the lottery instead of zero. That's exactly what it is. It's just, look, a lot of these teams treat this thing like 82 game preseason. That's all it is. I hate to say it, but it really is. I think it's ridiculous. I know they didn't control their own destiny and all that, but yeah, you still got to play it out. Again, all those fans go in the game to go see Luka. You kind of you played 13 minutes that evening. It's not
came out right at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah. Like it's just a disgrace for all those fans that kind of pay good money to go watch your team play. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And yeah, the NBA should really investigate it. And again, it's a problem league wide with the tanking and all this, but yeah, this one they should definitely investigate it. Yeah, I think it was disappointing with the Mavericks did there on Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the league should definitely should definitely take that pick away. There's no way the league should not. There's no way the league should not take their pick away. That was an absolute disgrace what the Mavericks did on Friday night. But OBJ has finally found a team. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
All righty, so OBJ has finally found a team on Sunday. He signed with the Ravens, 1 year, $18 million. And the big thing is OBJ's he's coming off a bunch of injuries. We know he's not going to be the same guy. But the big question is with this move, how does this affect Lamar Jackson, who said, earlier this month that he wanted out? He said a couple weeks ago he wanted out. Now, I'm starting to think he might be back in Baltimore. I'm really starting to think he might be a Raven again. I think he might. This might get him to at least sign the franchise tag, and then ultimately, seeing the lack of interest from other teams, maybe come up with a deal. I think he's going to be back in Baltimore because of this. This is crazy to say this, and this is why. OBJ is not coming to play there if he doesn't know who the quarterback is. And that's why I think that Lamar is going to be back. And I know I've said that Lamar's gone. Lamar's done. But I think with this move, bringing OBJ in, OBJ, he's not coming if he doesn't know who the quarterback's going to be. So I actually think Lamar is going to be back in Baltimore.
Now, I think it's a good point, that you mentioned that, him coming back or having, OBJ now kind of, wouldn't want to come to the team. He didn't know who's going to be the quarterback. I do think it helps a little bit, but you mentioned too, which is a good point about the lack of interest where, he may kind of get forced to sign. I still think this helps a little bit. And I think it's starting to help maybe rebuild the relationship with him in the front office here a little bit, but I'm still not fully there yet that he's completely back in, going to re-sign with the Ravens yet. I'm starting to get there a little bit more, but if in the next couple of weeks, if there's still not a ton of interest on Lamar Jackson with other teams, then I think he's gonna probably have to be forced to sign the franchise tag, and if he really does, and maybe now that they added a guy like OBJ for him, maybe he does kind of figure out a way to, and they kind of do figure out a way to come to terms with a deal. But I'm still not fully there yet. But look, they did pay a lot of money for OBJ, for a guy we haven't seen in a year and a half, and who's only played in 53 out of 98 regular season games. He hasn't been fully healthy his whole career, and the big risk. But maybe it does kind of show that maybe Lamar does, maybe Lamar's future in Baltimore is a little bit brighter than it was a few days ago.
I definitely think it is brighter because he's not there, because OBJ is not coming there if he doesn't know that. He's probably, and you've seen the FaceTimes with Lamar. We've seen them go out to dinner. They've definitely been in communication. But I do think this was a desperation move by the Ravens, because $18 million is a lot of money for a player like Beckham, because the Jets were not giving him $18 million. He was about to visit the Jets on Monday. He was not getting $18 million from the Jets. So I do think this is a little bit of a desperation move. But seeing the lack of interest, I think that it started to trend in the direction, even before the OBJ stuff, that Lamar might be back to being the Ravens, seeing the lack of interest around the league for Lamar. So it is a little bit of a desperation move, but OBJ is not coming. And I'm certain about this. OBJ is not coming somewhere if he doesn't know who the quarterback's going to be. So I think it's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think if you gave him $18 million, I don't think he'd mind, because I don't think he's getting that anywhere else. And I'm not saying he's just a guy just looking for the bag. I think if that was the best offer he was going to get, and I think, I think maybe it's a little bit brighter, and maybe, Lamar is kind of telling him I'll be back, but, is that one piece really, really kind of making Lamar really change his decision? Now, yes, it does help. Well, it helps in the Ravens case that there's not a ton of interest for him, in that, he really doesn't have any other option at this point than play with Baltimore. So that definitely does help. But it definitely does help bringing in OBJ. I'm I'm still not fully convinced that he's 100% back in the fold, that he's going to be a Baltimore Raven still next year.
Yeah, I think the reason why I think he's going to be is OBJ right now in his career, he's not the immature player he was back in his days with the Giants or his days with the Browns. He matured when he went to the Rams. He took a lesser role, won a Super Bowl. I think all Beckham wants to do now is win. I think that's all he wants to do is win. And he's not going to want to play with Tyler Huntley. He wants to play with a top quarterback and Lamar Jackson. And that's why I think, and I know I flip-flopped on this. I thought when Lamar I thought when he signed the franchise tag, he was done. Because I thought there was going to be interest. I thought when he wanted out, I thought he was done. But but from what I've known about OBJ over the last couple of years, I just don't think he's going somewhere if he doesn't know who the quarterback's going to be. That's why I think Lamar's back being a Raven.
And I can totally see that. Yeah, OBJ's done a really good job of kind of turning things around. Again, Todd Monken, now who he worked with at Cleveland, that was his OC his first year in Cleveland. Now he kind of comes back and works for the Baltimore, so they do have that familiarity with each other, which I think helps as well. But yeah, I know Tyler Huntley would be probably the other option if Lamar does kind of move on here and does not come back to Baltimore for whatever reason. I could totally see that OBJ kind of, understanding that, if there's an uncertainty, Lamar's not going to be the quarterback week one, that, maybe he doesn't sign here. But I think, having that familiar with Todd Monken helps a little bit. Maybe his decision-making process. I think too, going back to the last one, I think if anybody threw OBJ $18 million at this point, I think he'd sign it. I get he wants to win. Maybe the Ravens kind of are a franchise that usually kind of hang around and always are tough. But look, you lose OBJ, it's going to be. I mean, you lose Lamar, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs in the AFC. But he's definitely give Odell credit because he has really turned it around from his days with the Giants, where he was a diva.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be interesting to see who's right or wrong here, because me and you both were on the side when Lamar signed the tag that he was done. When he requested the trade, he was done. Now, this has kind of brought me over to the other side. You're still on the side that he's probably going to play for another team. But so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm very interested to see what ends up happening with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, me too. We got to find out pretty soon if they're, you got to think maybe after the draft, somebody doesn't get the quarterback they like. Maybe after the draft, something kind of, a team's interested. But till then, it'll be interesting kind of what happens, because it's been a fascinating thing this all off season. And I would assume we're going to get an answer one way or another in the next couple of weeks.
We absolutely have to. We got to. But we got to talk about another player, and that is Devin White, and he wants out of Tampa right now. Devin White, he wants a trade, and the big thing is which team would be the best fit. And I'm thinking of one that would be a really good fit, and that'd be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really like him on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Put him in that defense with T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick. To put him on that defense, I think that would be a top 5 defense in the league if White went to the Steelers.
I went to the other team in the state of Pennsylvania. I went to the Eagles. I think.
You had to go there.
Yeah, I know it hurts your Giants, but they lost 2 starting linebackers from a Super Bowl team.
Good point. Kaiser White and T.J. Edwards, which was a big loss.
Yeah, and last year, Howie Roseman, again, he went out, traded for A.J. Brown, who was a guy in the mid-20s, took a shot on him. Devin White, mid-20s, looking for a deal. The Eagles want to get back to the Super Bowl, try to go over the top next year. I think Devin White would fit that bill really well. I know they, have Nakobe Dean, but, are they really ready for him to start right now? Maybe they want him to develop another year. I think Devin White to the Eagles could make some sense.
Oh, absolutely. I think it makes a ton of sense, especially seeing their whole linebacker, and it would get that defense back to being a top defense. Seeing the starters they lost on defense, Jerron Hargrave, obviously T.J. Edwards, Kaiser White, Marcus Epps, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That'd be a really, really nice move for that team.
Yeah, absolutely. The Eagles, they want to get back to Super Bowl. They lost some big pieces, to that team that got there last year, and want to rebuild that defense. Devin White's got some experience of being in the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers and winning one. So I think he could fit really well with the Eagles, and it would be a nice kind of piece there for the Eagles offseason. Some and to add some of that defense that, as you mentioned, they lost a lot of pieces since that in the last couple of weeks here from free agency.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would not want to see Devin White wearing green. That is for sure. But we're going to move on to baseball, and we're going to talk about the Yankees right now, 7-4, tied for second in the AL East. And the positives right now, Garrett Cole's been outstanding. Nestor Cortez has been good. And how about Franchy Cordero hitting the home run Friday, hitting the home run on Sunday, and then hitting the home run yesterday to put them up 6-2. And I'm telling you something about Franchy Cordero. Every home run he's hit has been a big home run. And I'm telling you, when you put this lineup together, I think the best lineup for the Yankees right now. Obviously, you have. I think you got Torres starting at a second and leading off. I think you put Judge, Stanton, Rizzo in the middle. I think you obviously. I think you still keep DJ in the lineup. I still think you keep Trevino in the lineup. I might, play Cabrera at short. And then you got to have Franchy playing left field. You got to have Franchy in left. I really like Franchy Cordero playing left field. I think he should play more. He's got to start playing every day because he leads the team in RBIs right now. I'd like to see Cordero playing every day.
Yeah, I really like Cordero. Because it's like you saw the tools in Boston, but the thing was like he just couldn't put it all together. And then I think too what affected him is they had him try first base, and he's always been an outfielder. And he played short too, which is odd. I don't know why like shortstop was always like a backup position for him. But like, and I think trying to learn first base, doing that at the major league level is tough for him. Now he's back in the outfield. Yeah, like his problem was always the strikeout rate, but like when he puts, bat on the ball, it goes a long way. Yeah, he's been awesome. I'm with you. I think he's got to start in left field because who else do you have? I know Cabrera could play out there, but Volpe's got a hit so far today. Like, the hope is that he can kind of figure it out at short. But yeah, like Aaron Hicks is a lost cause at this point. I know I would hope the Yankees have been, trying to trade him for the last year and a half here. But yeah, Cordero's been awesome. And, it took him, I think, over a month last year to hit 2 home runs with Boston. So yeah, again, if he can get 10, 15 home runs to the Yankees, that's a win for them. So yeah, Cordero's been awesome so far. And he's been fun to watch.
Here's my lineup right here. I'll go Glaber leading off, playing second. I'm going to go Judge playing right field, batting second. Batting third, I'll go Rizzo playing first. Stanton as the DH. I got him batting fourth. And batting fifth, this might be a surprise. I'm putting Franchy in that lineup. I got Franchy in that lineup playing left field. I got him batting fifth. I got Cabrera. I got Franchy. I got Judge in center. I said it right. I got Judge in center, and then I got Cabrera in a right field. I got him hitting sixth. I got. Let me think. I got Trevino. I got him in the lineup, hitting seventh. I got DJ. I'm gonna move DJ down. I got DJ hitting eighth. And then I got Volpe playing short, hitting ninth. So that's my dream lineup right now. I don't want to see Aaron Hicks in the lineup ever again. I know he's playing today. I don't want to see Hicks in the lineup. I don't want to see Kiner Fleff in the lineup. I am done with either of the two of them.
Yeah, I'm done with both. Those guys have been awful. Higashi, they're bottom 3 today. It's Kiner Fleff, Higashioka, and then Aaron Hicks rounding it out.
Horrible bottom 3 right there. But it's a getaway day having that bottom 3. That is a horrendous bottom 3 right there. Horrendous.
Yeah, because you had to start Volpe at the leadoff. I know Torres is banged up, DJ's banged up, so Boone doesn't have a ton of options today, to figure out the lineup combination. But yeah, the interest I didn't mind it. The interesting one was LeMahieu at 8th. I know LeMahieu's kind of been down, and Torres been awesome. I love DJ at the leadoff, but I could see him down there to turn over the lineup. But like DJ's so good with runners on, and sometimes in the middle we're just so hit or miss.
Yeah, but the problem is Judge has like 4 solo home runs this year because DJ's not getting on base. That's the problem. So that's why I want Glaber there. If you put Glaber up there, he'll have a runner on base. He'll start getting 2-run homers instead of solo shots.
Yeah, which is nice. That'd be nice. I know he's been down, DJ. I guess if you got some guys down at the order or in the middle of that lineup that can could get on base, I think that could suit DJ really well. Just feels weird having, putting DJ down there at 8th, but yeah, I can see it. The way Torres been hitting so far, and it's a walk year for him too. Like this is a big kind of free. He's got 1 more year left actually. But look, it's finally nice to see Torres really, seems confident again, which we really haven't seen in the last couple of years. But But yeah, the Yankees can figure out that bottom of the order. They'll be in good shape. But yeah, it's kind of figuring out that bottom and who could produce at the bottom of that order.
Exactly. But I think the bottom should be DJ, Trevino, Volpe. Case closed. Stop putting Kiner Falefa in there. I'm done with him. And stop putting Hicks in there. And maybe a Higashioka on a day, maybe a day game or select games. But I'm done with Higashi. I don't want Higashioka playing all the time too. Trevino, it's Trevino, DJ, and Volpe. And I know Volpe struggled, but Trevino, DJ, and Volpe, that's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Volpe did get a hit today leading off. So,
one hit. Let's relax there.
But again, I think his at-bats been good, though. I said this, I think he's had good at-bats. Like, I think that's, like, he's going to break through, I think, soon. Like, I know he's got 12 strikeouts and 31 appearances, but, like, I don't think doesn't look like a lost cause. Like, he doesn't look like he's just getting absolutely fooled out there. So, like, I think he'll get it going at some point. Let's hope. And, yeah, with Higashioka, I know they have Ben Worth bet. I know he's been injured literally the last year, but like I know one of the top priorities, like Austin Wells at the catcher spot. I don't know how close he is, but maybe he's an option down the line to be the backup catcher at some point, maybe late in the year. But yeah, like Higashioka hasn't been great either. And yeah, Aaron Hicks, I'm kind of done with. I don't like his at it. I feel like if this was still George, Aaron Hicks would have been gone like 3 years ago. Like I don't think George would have put up with any of this.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, so I don't expect Hicks to be on the team all year. Like I think at some point it's just the relationships. They're going to trade him hopefully at some point. But yeah, they can figure it out. Yeah, I think Volpe can get it going. And yeah, the top of the order has been pretty good. Stan looks real locked in, and we'll see. He's actually I still don't like how he puts Judge second and then kind of goes Rizzo third, fourth. Stan, I always like to Judge Stan back to back.
You want Judge and Stan back to back, but I think he does that for. I think it's a righty lefty thing. That's why he does.
Which is so dumb. I can't.
He's going off the analytics there. He's going off the analytics. I know.
I can't stand it, but I guess all those scientists are smarter than me. I guess upstairs they know something I don't, but it is what it is.
Exactly. So we'll go to some of the negatives, and I think we talked about Volpe and Hicks and Kiner Falefa, but I think one of the biggest negatives that needs to be talked about is Clark Schmidt, and I want this to be his last start as a Yankee. He's got to get out of this rotation. He's been absolutely pathetic for this team. The 2 games he started, they've lost. They're losing right now too. They're down 2-0, and of course he gave up 4 hits in the first inning. I want him out of the rotation. I'll take Brito any day of the week over him in the rotation.
Yeah, which is crazy because he looked good last year, and then even like spring training, he may figure some stuff out, and yeah, he has not been good so far. But it's been him and Herman.
What have you done for me lately? Him and Herman, get them out. Get those guys out of the rotation when Severino and Rondon come back. Get those guys out of the rotation. Have Brito be the number 5. I don't want Herman. Move Herman to the bullpen. And get Clark back to the minor leagues. Okay, I'm done with Clark Schmidt. I don't want him pitching anymore for this team. This is the last start. Today should be the last start for Clark Schmidt pitching for this team. I want put Brito in that role. Maybe just start Herman until Rondon comes back. Hopefully Sevy comes back soon. But get Clark Schmidt. This should be his last start as a Yankee.
Yeah, at the starting, I think he continued to be tough to start. He was good out of the bullpen last year. Would you be okay with him in the bullpen?
Maybe. I'll see.
He's good in the bullpen.
I'll see.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done with Herman. I've done with Herman. He's got to have another year or 2 left, I think, of control, and then he's gone, I would hope. But yeah, I'm with you. Johnny Brito, that guy, he's been all, his one start was awesome. Even the spring training start was great in his last one. So yeah, I would love to see Johnny Brito get another shot up here, and then it'd be I know Rondon had another setback yesterday or 2 days ago, so he's probably out now for another couple weeks. So yeah, they're gonna have to kind of keep tampering with him, kind of find somebody to unless they keep going with like this 4-man rotation for now. But that I'd be fine with it. Yeah, it's been Herman and Clark Schmidt who've been the big problem. But yeah, I don't mind either of those two moving the bullpen or just being done with the being out of the rotation, because they got 1 hit so far against a guy making his debut today too. But that's very Yankee-like. Like it seems like a guy making his debut.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Look at the 3 guys they have at the end of the lineup. Hicks,
Yeah, no.
and Connor Hicks, Connor Falefa, and Higashioka. That's why they got hit. That should explain everything about that. But we'll move on to the Red Sox. Red Sox right now 5-6. Did sweep the Tigers, which they needed to do, but they've lost their first 2 games against the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays. And I think the positives for the Red Sox right now, Devers had that big grand slam on Saturday. That's a positive. I think Pivetta has been really good. Verdugo and Duvall has been good. But the big question is, how much is this Red Sox lineup going to miss Duvall now that he's going to be out for a while? Because you look at the last 2 games for the Red Sox, they've scored a combined 1 run in their last 2 games.
Yeah, it's been ugly last 2 games. They're right-handed hitters this year besides Adam Duvall. This was going to last night, so it was 196. Now, I don't think that got much better last night because they did not do much again last night, obviously. So that's been the right-handed hitters without Adam Duvall, 196. So yeah, it's Devers has been good. But Trizicast has got 2 home runs, but he's batting 160 right now. Arroyo's really strong. Kike Hernandez is still at the top of that lineup, and he's batting under 100 right now. I don't know if Alex Corey's going to keep putting him out there as a leadoff guy. It'd be very interesting. And Yoshida's a guy that does not have much pop. He just hits a lot of ground balls. So, yeah, for the Red Sox, the lineup, they need some other guys to step up without Adam Duvall. It's going to be a big loss for for the time he's going to miss. And, yeah, Nick Pavetta's pitched really well. But like they need Sale to figure it out tonight against the Rays. And, Whitlock was okay last night, gave up a couple home runs, but, in his first start back, but like, he's a guy that's more of a long man. And I think he's going to be the eventual closer at some point. But look, the Red Sox right now, yeah, it was big to beat the Tigers, but, the Rays have been on fire. It's been impressive what they're doing so far, but yeah, it's hasn't been too many positives so far for the Red Sox, outside of that Tiger series. It really, you got swept by the Pirates at home, which just cannot happen. I know the Pirates have played well at the gates, but it can't happen. The Yankees are down 3-0 now. I think Rosario just hit a home run.
Yeah, Keller Schmidt is terrible. Get him out of the rotation, please.
Yeah, I'm done. I've seen that experience. Yeah, it's about done with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about the negatives with Yoshida and Turner. You talked about that, and then the rotation. Sale's got to get it done. If Sale doesn't pick it up, Sale and Kluber don't pick it up, the Red Sox are in for a very long year, especially with Duvall out.
Yeah, they are, because they dug themselves in a hole last year. I know it's game 11. They've only put 11 games, but you're already 6 back of the division of the Rays. Like you're already digging yourself in a big hole right now, and yeah, it's going to get problematic. And, I think High and Blue just bloom. I think the problem is he's trying to find too many dimes in the rough. And again, you can find 1 or 2 of them, but it's just tough to create a team of finding 5 to 10 guys, diamonds in the rough that you think are going to have a great year. It usually doesn't happen. I think that's kind of the problem with this team is he's just trying to bank on a bunch of guys that maybe have career years and that they could just try to, you look at the numbers, you look at all the analytical stats, you say, oh, this guy could be a pretty good piece. And it just doesn't, I don't think that works. And it really hasn't for this team so far. And I don't think it's gonna, because yeah, Sale has struggled. Corey Kluber's struggled. Paxton, I think, supposed to be making a rehab start soon, but again, he's injured. Like, how many starts can you really get out of him? So yeah, I think this rotation is, isn't trouble. I know one of their top guys is Brian Mata, one of their top starters. He lost a year last year in Tommy John, but I think he's somebody that they're very high on, but look, they gotta find some starters. And again, tonight you're going up against a rookie or a guy making his debut. So you would hope tonight they figure out a way to end the Rays hot streak right now.
Yeah, and speaking of the Rays, 11-0 right now. They started 11-0. I mean, this is the best start from any team since 1987. I know the teams they haven't played have not been good. That's why I think this has been impressive. But I'm not going on. I'm not saying that they should be the favorite to win the World Series. I know they're 11-0, but I'm not saying they should be the favorite to win the World Series because look at the teams they played: the Nationals, the A's, the Tigers, and the Red Sox. They played 4 bad teams. And listen, very impressed to win all the games. I mean, Franco's been great. Arozarena's been great. Lowe hit that big home run on Monday night. So all those guys have been really good. Paredes hit a grand slam a couple days ago. And the pitching with Springs, with Rasmussen, with McClellan, they've all been really good. But let's slow down with they're the favorite to win the World Series because they've played 4 really bad teams. But they are off to a great start, and it is very impressive.
Oh, yeah, it's impressive. They have 29 home runs, and they've only given up 20 runs. Like, that's the insane part.
Crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think they're the World Series favorite either, because that's what their lineup is. Like, I know this year they haven't struck out a lot, but yeah, the Tigers pitching staff, the Nationals pitching staff, and the A's pitching staff, and even some of the Red Sox pitching staff are not great major league pitchers. Like, give them credit because, yeah, they've won all these games, and it's impressive to go on streaks like this in Major League Baseball. But, yeah, I'm still not there yet. Like, I need to see them play a competent team. Like, this weekend against the Blue Jays, we'll find out a lot. You know, we'll find out more about this Rays team. But, yeah, look, give them credit because they are off to an impressive start right now. Their lineup's really, hitting the ball well. But, like, they're just relying on a ton of home runs. And I think at some point when you play some actual competent pitchers who can actually, who are actually pretty good, it may be a little bit more challenging for this Rays team to put some to score more runs. So for right now, yeah, it's impressive, but yeah, I'm not putting them yet as the World Series favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely should not be the World Series favorite, even though they started 11-0. But we go from one great team to another great team. We'll wrap up talking about the Bruins breaking the single season's win record with 63 on Sunday. Is it a failure if they can't win the Stanley Cup? In my opinion, I think they got to get to at least the conference finals. But Justin, is it a failure if they don't win the Stanley Cup?
I don't know if it's a failure. I think, if you don't get to the finals, I think it is a little bit disappointing because going into this year, they fired Bruce Cassidy. Everybody in Boston wanted Don Sweeney to get fired.
Yeah, I don't think they thought this team was going to be good.
No. Like, this was like, I think a lot people were kind of just hoping, maybe get like that third spot in the Atlantic or get a wild card spot. So that's why I don't think it's a total failure because, like, nobody expected this out of them. But I think if they at least get to the Stanley Cup, maybe even the Eastern Conference Finals, I think, it would sting that have the best record, in the NHL history and not make it. But yeah, the seasons they've had, it's been really impressive. And for that core that they got, it's kind of one last. I think maybe for that core of like Marchand, Bergeron, for those guys who have been there forever, maybe it's a little bit disappointing that they don't get that second ring because, they've had their chances. So maybe for that kind of core, Bruins fans are a little bit disappointed that they don't get that ring. But I think with the Eastern Conference, the last time the President's Cup winner won the Stanley Cup was a decade ago with the Blackhawks. Like that's why I love the NHL playoffs because it's so unpredictable. So I don't think it's a total failure, but I think it is a little disappointing you don't get it done.
Yeah, well, yeah, it would be absolutely. So we'll see what happens with the Bruins, and we definitely will be starting to talk a little bit about the Bruins in the playoffs come next week. But that's going to wrap it up this week on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin D'Onofrio, I'm Steve Risser. We'll be back next week talking the NBA and the NHL playoffs, Yankees and Red Sox, and any NFL news that comes our way. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the Unsolved Murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.